Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
In Parashat Balak, the Torah portion we read this week, is not short of its own tension and drama. As Ray so wonderfully spoke, the foreign king named Balak hired Balaam, one of his prophets, to curse the Israelites. But what seemed to be a pretty simple task turned into an unexpected scene. You see, as we learned this morning, each time Balaam opens his mouth to curse the Israelites, only blessings come out. In fact, one of these unexpected curses ended up being one of the most beautiful verses in our tradition, and it's read every single morning. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael. How beautiful are your tents, O Jacob, your dwelling places, O Israel. Now think about this for a moment. A verse spoken by a prophet hired to destroy us ends up blessing us every single day. Now this is the power of words. This past week and the week before, our hearts have been shattered by the horrible floodings in Texas. We all have read the stories and seen the images of destroyed neighborhoods, trapped groups and families, and entire communities submerged. We read heartbreaking recounts of children being swept away in waters that nobody can control. I even read about a 4-year-old who was found miles away from home, and even a teenager who tried to help others before getting lost in the current themselves. Let's remember the 27 campers from Camp Mystic, plus over 100 more that have had their lives cut short due to this unforeseen destruction. These moments are literally unspeakable, and yet, here we are, speaking of them. We must find words to remember the lives lost, to comfort the grieving, and to hold space for those entire communities that are in mourning. We learned in this Torah portion that Balaam was expected to speak words of destruction, but only blessings came out. So too are we faced with the challenge of how we speak in the face of tragedy. Do we stay silent? Do we look away? Or do we bring attention to this horrible incident by bringing truth and compassion? You see, the Torah teaches us that even a donkey can speak when the time is urgent enough. The message is clear. Words matter. And sometimes the least likely voices are the most important one. And sometimes words aren't enough. There are moments when silence becomes the only language that feels true. When holding somebody's hand at a Shiva home, or looking at a child's empty bedroom after a flood. In these moments, the most powerful thing we can do is not offer our language, rather our presence. Hug, a tear, a hand on a shoulder. The Torah reminds us that speech is sacred, but so is silence that comes from love. As the book of Kohelet says, there's a time to be silent and there's a time to speak. Our challenge is knowing when to do each. But here's what I've come to believe. Even when words are too heavy for one generation, they can be picked up by the next. You see, 2 years ago, I joined an incredible group of teens on the International March of the Living. We walked through Auschwitz. We stood on the train tracks of Birkenau. We sang Hatikva with survivors. And for the first time, I think I finally understood that this is our future and how we carry the words forward. I looked back at the endless stream of young people marching, literally thousands of teenagers from all over the world, from Austria, from Mexico, from South Africa, from Israel, from China, holding their heads up as proud Jews as they walked the paths where such horrors once reigned. And I remember, these kids, these teenagers, are the ones that are going to be able to speak when others cannot. Words we speak after tragedy shape how we remember. The words we say to our children in the car, in the classrooms, or even up in the youth lounge, they matter. They teach values. They build resilience. They create blessings in place of curse. When we face this kind of devastation, what words will you speak? Words of comfort? Words of memory? Words of support and understanding? Balaam thought he was in charge of his own words, but the Torah teaches there's a divine force that guides our speech when we're open to a blessing. I believe this Torah portion is a model for the way we speak. If we pause and allow time and space for compassion rather than anger and cynicism, maybe we can transform the narrative too. Shabbat Shalom.